So now we have finished the outside of the bag. We're going to go ahead and start on the lining. We're going to do the pocket exactly the way we did this pocket, but we're not going to use a zipper this time. So what I'm going to do is turn this inside out. I'm going to go ahead and use the same thread for this part, and because you won't ever see it, and we will change it when we put the Velcro on. This, of course, will need to go to the ironing board, but I wanted to talk to you again about the pocket. So we turn this inside out, and we do have options. This is the inside of the bag. This is the part that only you see, but again, decide where you want your seam. It can be recognized or hidden, whatever you would like to do. I still would really like to see it have a little bit of decoration. So I'm going to show you now how I would use a decorative stitch just to kind of gussy up the bag a little bit. So let me go to the iron. I'm going to iron this, and then we are going to do a really pretty leaf pattern along the top. Okay, so I finished pressing that where I wanted it, and I left a really nice area here to do a little bit of decorative stitching. I thought it'd be a little bit of fun to bring in some of this color that is on your leopard print and bring it in here, just for fun. So a little word about my decorative stitching. To me, it is just also, not only is it pretty, but it will really strengthen whatever you are working on. The more stitching you put on something, the stronger it makes your fabric. So I'm going to choose some pretty leaves, and I want to show you how I keep it straight. When I first started sewing this, I was all over the place, but I use the edge of my little presser foot here, and as I do this, you're going to see that it's just going to go back and forth because it is making a different, shape of stitch. But how I hold it is going to absolutely keep it in line and keep it spot on and pretty close to perfect. So I'm going to set it under here like this. My presser foot is right on the edge of the fabric, which puts my decoration here in the middle. It's just how it worked out with this particular project. So I'm going to lower this. I don't have to go back and forth. And I'm going to start out really, really slow. And all I'm doing is just barely guiding it. It's going to go back and forth on me, you'll see. And I don't react in any way. Just keeping it close to the edge here. That's the only thing I'm paying attention to, and I never watch my needle. I know it's doing its job, and I only have one job, and that's keeping it on the side of the presser. And there we go. That's pretty darn straight. Okay, so this is the pocket, again, for the lining. And we're going to set it a few inches up from here because our gusset, we have to remember, we're going to have a seam to sew the whole thing together. We're going to have that seam. Excuse me, so we're going to stay out of the way of that. We also have our 1 inch which makes a 2-inch gusset. We need to stay out of the way of that. So I'm going to bring it up here about like that. Okay, I don't have an exact measurement for you because this is just my design and I didn't make it really, really particular. You could even have the pocket a little bit higher if you would like. But I'm going to bring it down because I'm going to add some Velcro in a little bit, and I want you to see why and where I place it. You know, I place the Velcro kind of low because there's some things that are going to be happening up in here. You'll see in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this is straight, and I'm going to sew it on just like we did the other one here at the bottom. Is attached. You have a couple of options at this point. You can actually make another line to go this way to carry maybe something small. Otherwise, you're just going to have one large pocket, and that's fine. But at this point, that would be a really good time to do that if you wanted to make it maybe a few pockets for some really, you know, thin things. But okay, we're going to do 1 stitch up, or 2 stitch, and we're going to go back 3. Okay, that starts it nice and neat. We're going to follow our little line that you probably can't see, but I can. Covering it up. When I get to the top here, before I get to the very top, I'm going to start going backwards. And then I'm going to come back up and just catch it one more time. And I'm done. Okay. And then that gives the person using this bag, they're not going to pull the pocket off when they use it. Okay. Okay, so that is what that looks like. Great. So they can put a couple things in there as they wish. This brings up another point that I wanted to share with you is sometimes you have a lipstick or something that is very short and you're not going to be able to, once you get this bag put together, you're not going to be able to reach in there and grab something small that you had. So at this point, what's really good to do is decide how deep you want this, and you might start a new line right here and come across there so it's not so deep. This one's fine, you can get your whole hand in there and grab what you need, but this one can get a little tricky if you've got something small to go down there. So just remember you can make a little line right here. Okay, so now is the time to add the closure. And for this bag, we decided that we're going to go ahead and use some Velcro, but I wanted you to see how I cut this Velcro. I used a 1-inch piece. And I just took my shears while they were together and I just nipped the corner. I've had a lot of things with Velcro on them and it was square, and it really doesn't feel good to reach down into your purse and have that poke you. It also is a weak point. You will start ruining your thread that is in there because it's constantly being pulled. So it's just a little Velcro hack. And I also think it looks really nice on there. So I'm going to show you how I put my Velcro on. Who does not know how to put on Velcro? I know, but we're here and we're just going to do this together. I can show you maybe the way I do it and you can pick up something new. So I'm going to need at least a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of this to finish the bag. So I'm going to bring this down, but I want to find the middle, and I want to show you how I find the middle of things. I fold them together like this. I could measure, but why when I could do this? This will show me the exact middle. Now I'm going to take my shears and just the tiniest bit, I'm just going to cut that like that. So now there is the middle. It's not going to hurt anything. I didn't cut into a seam or anything, and that shows me where the middle of my bag is. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in half, I'm not going to cut it, but I am going to fold it in half. I'm going to come down about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm just going to set it there. Open it up, hold it, and there I am. I am exactly where I want it to be. So it's just a little quicker way than getting out the measuring tape. I'm just going to pull that down just a little bit. Okay? Put this under my machine. I've got a good hold of it. I don't want it to slide. I could pin it, but I have found that when I pin it, I kind of make a mess of things. So I'm just going to set it down. It doesn't matter where you start, but I'm going to start right over here, close to the edge. I don't want to get too close to the edge because I'm going to go off, and I don't want to be too far in because then I risk the Velcro folding over. So what I'm going to do is just be really close to the edge, but inward, of course, just a little bit. So I'm going to go back and forth. By the way, I did reduce my stitch length. I usually use 2.5, but this is at 1.6. I want this on there. I don't ever want it to come off. So I'm going to go forward and then go backwards just a little bit. And I am going to stop before I get to the corner because what I want to do is turn it just a little bit. One stitch, turn it a little bit. I want that to look really nice and neat. I've seen people put Velcro on things, and honestly, it looks awful. It's just very, very messy, and I like neat and clean. So started. I'm going to go forward and back, and because I matched my thread so well to my Velcro, honestly you cannot see it at all. And that looks really, really nice, and it's really, really clean. So, and here it is on that side. So there you go. I'm going to do the same thing over on this side, and I'll meet you back here in a little bit. Okay, and that's all the time we have today. Till next time, happy sewing.